Well, today, so far, I'm at the trailhead heading to do this loop here. It's not a long loop, but there's no cars in the parking lot, which means I have it to myself, so I'm kind of excited about that. And haven't been here in a while. Of course, it's that time of year where you gotta watch the sky all the time, but I think I'm gonna be all right for this walk in terms of the weather, and hopefully I'll see some interesting things out here in the beautiful woods. Well, I went to one preserve, but I didn't like it because it's mostly that really hard-packed white lime rock. It really reflects off of your eyes. So coming to another spot I like a lot. It has lots of shade, lots of trees, much better than the other one that was more grassland. And it's hot as the gosh darn devil himself these days, so I think I'd rather stay in the shade. So the only thing I don't like about this is there's a small airport nearby, and I guess this is the flight path for today that goes over this park. So I've heard several small planes, but that's all right. I'm gonna focus what's on the ground, not in the sky. I haven't been here in a really long time. Wonder what kind of bird that is. But I have noticed today, I hear a lot of traffic. I wonder if there was some construction somewhere that opened up a pathway for sound waves to move through the forest, because I just don't remember hearing that much traffic. Maybe as I get further in, I won't hear it as much. It's one thing about being in the woods. The whole focus of being in the woods is to escape from civilization. And if you're out in the woods and you're constantly reminded of it, it's a little bit aggravating, at least for me. I used to sit at this bench a lot and rest. It's probably only about a quarter mile in. It's a nice little place to take a drink, particularly this time of year when it's 96 degrees out and it's not even noon yet. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm a heat guy. It's just this year, for some reason, does seem a lot hotter than others. That's either the cause of climate, or I'm just getting older and it's harder for me to adjust to the heat like I used to. So it's one of those two things, or maybe both of those two things, but it's okay. It's all right. And I do see a couple of angry crowds. I don't want to see angry crowds. I see a couple of angry clouds up ahead, so I gotta keep my eye on that. Make sure, to watch my mileage. And it's that time of year. July and August are really the worst for thunderstorms and lightning, so gotta be careful. So if it starts to rumbling a little bit, I'm probably gonna head back. I don't want to tempt fate for sure. Cypress trees there. It's a small little swampy area, little depression area, and of course it's dry right now because, like I said, we haven't got a lot of rain, and let's just hope it doesn't come for another couple hours so I can get back to the truck and be nice and dry and don't have to dodge lightning bolts and things like that. So found myself a little makeshift walking stick I've been using just because, I don't know, sometimes you just want to feel a little bit extra prepared in case something happens. But I'm pretty sure I'm close to a pond, fairly large pond, and it's usually always pretty. There's always interesting stuff to see, so I will check back in when I get to the pond. Little dock here is closed. I guess it's getting in disrepair. They don't want anyone to get hurt, so they closed it off. But wow, the pond is more of a savanna right now than it is a pond. Let's go take a look. Put down my little makeshift club. What I like about this, if there's a feral dog or something out here, I can get it right in the neck with that V, or other animals too, so that's why I picked it. Always thinking about worst case scenarios. It's always good to be prepared. Wow, this is really low. The water level is extremely low here. I've seen it where it's right up to where I'm standing right now. But looks like a lot of the birds are enjoying it. But very interesting. There's only a small little area there where there's still some water. So that's one of the water monitors right there with the state water department. So, alrighty, gonna move onward. I'm sure I've been on this trail a lot, but sometimes, you know, I don't have a map, and I'm getting older. So what I do a lot, me and Campfire Steve do this. Whenever we come to a crossroads, we make a little arrow which way to go. So I come to this crossroads, I have the arrow to go this way, just so I know. And Steve always puts one up so you can see it rising from the ground so you don't miss it. And it works out pretty well. And what I do is on my way back is I take it down because I don't know what someone else's situation is, where they want to be, like maybe they're coming from there or something. So I just recommend, if you don't have a map, you're not familiar, or even if you have a map, it's sometimes good to do this at a crossroads. Another thing I do is I take pictures with my phone of the perspective, like I'll be standing there to see which way I went, or over here and over there, just so I can find a perspective. Okay, this is the way we go. It works out pretty good when I do that. So just some interesting tips. But like I said, I always take them down because I don't want someone else that's looking for a different place get lost. So it's really for my personal use. I just don't want to get someone, you know, more lost than they already are, so I always take it, move it off to the side. All right, let's continue on. I may have to shorten this because it is getting a little bit cloudy out. Well, I just checked the radar. I could see that there are some clouds building. That's one thing, if you're going to hike this time of year in Florida, you really should do it early in the morning before the clouds have started building up the power for the thunderstorms. So it's probably around 12:30 right now, so probably should have gotten here a lot earlier. So I'll keep an eye on the radar, keep my ears out for the rumblings of thunder. It looks like the Forest Service has been doing some work out here. Sometimes they can make new forest roads or temporary forest roads or fire breaks, and sometimes something like that can get hikers kind of confused. So you got to really pay attention to the trail markers. So I wonder what they're doing here. You know, you'll see this a lot when they're doing prescribed burns, but maybe they're getting ready to do a prescribed burn here and then making the fire breaks. That would be my guess. Alrighty, time to head back this way and walk a different trail. Alrighty, interesting stuff. So, alright, I'll check back in a bit. Up my pace because I could kind of feel it's getting a little bit cooler, which is always, in the summertime, that's always a sign that a rainstorm's on its way. So, alright, I'm going to pick up my pace, and it is getting more and more cloudier as the minutes go by.